Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summers McKay.
And I'm Kristy Jansen, and we're part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help make it one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy, hump day-worthy podcast. Today is Wednesday, the 30th of June, 2021. Well, June, you came and went.
Came and went. It's already over. And yeah, incredible.
I was saying before this that June also felt like it was 400 years and then also 12 hours.
To me, it rushed by. I can't get my head around how quickly time seems to be passing. And I feel like I'm accomplishing in the meantime. Maybe that's what it is.
Well,
oh, man.
Kristy, I will say, from an Optimist Daily perspective, we have basically redesigned the entire site. We are relaunching a new version of the site come mid-July. We have updated our categories. Our editorial team is kicking tail. We have great SEO, back-end fixes. So
we've got a couple new interns we're bringing on.
Exactly.
It's true. We've got a lot of fun stuff happening.
Yes.
But there's so much more to do. The list just doesn't seem to ever get shorter.
Right. And it's super cool because as we go into July, that's the month everybody really wants to dig in and work hard, right?
No, because both you and I are having a little bit of a break. We're actually each of us are doing a vacation. And it's going to be back-to-back weeks, which means our podcasting will be a little bit curtailed for those 2 weeks. We're going to take a bit of a break and a bit of a rerun sort of situation.
I know it's hard. We finally had to just kind of look at one another and look at Amelia and just everybody acknowledge it was okay to take a break. And I feel like for the last 20 months, right, of this whole journey, we have been grinding so hard. And this podcast has been something that you and I committed to returning to every single day. And with Amelia, and it just game on. This is the one thing that we are never going to let down because I think it also provided a lot of mental health benefits for us. And so it's a little like being willing to leave our daily therapist for 2 whole weeks. So I'm going to make sure in the next 2 weeks that you and I have the tools and Amelia has the tools to get through our hiatus. And all of you listeners, well, of course, you can listen to back episodes as well. And we'll be republishing our best ofs. So there's going to be like a best hits week that you're going to get to enjoy. But I will say that coming out of June, yesterday was International Mud Day, and that was darling. And my daughter was covered tip to toe in just mud and play, and everything about it was really fun. I wish I had spent more time in the mud myself, but I feel a little like I'm dragging in the mud and not in a good way. I'm kind of grumpy today, and that's really rare for me to just be in the dumps. So
wow. Now, I'm a little goofy because Tucker did not have an easy night last night. It's been pretty warm here, although nothing like the sad situation up in the Pacific Northwest. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But he was not comfortable last night, and we ended up putting him outside because it was cooler outside than it was inside because my house does not have air conditioning either.
Right.
But
oh goodness. Well, so everybody's off, and if you're out there listening, you're off today. No, you're not alone. But guess what? Even if you're off here on this happy hump day, you can turn to the Optimist Daily for a tiny bit of lift, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's what we do. That's what we're here for. And I think part of the headlines that we've chosen today, for whatever reason, there's a forest theme happening.
Yes.
And I think this is an important solution to think about. I don't know who's going first.
I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
Mine is a little sort of more direct in what has been accomplished.
Just so you know, well, go ahead and you tell your story, and I'll tell you my story about that story.
Okay, so my headline reads: years of exclusive rainforest recordings are now available worldwide. The recordings of Cornell University's Elephant Listening Project, which makes me so happy, which was established in 1999, are finally going public. And here's why it matters. The gigantic acoustic monitoring effort covered about 480 square miles in the Republic of Congo's Nabuli-Ndoki National Park, which I think I did an okay job pronouncing.
Ndoki.
Noki. Okay.
Ndoki.
Ndoki. Anyway, this is an area that's roughly the size of Los Angeles. And the intention of this project was to detect poaching and other illegal activity that was aimed at forest elephants and preventing, the healthy growth and sustainability of these elephant populations. What was interesting, there's some other things that came out of it, whether, anti-poaching patrolling was, one of the key goals. It also helped them understand that there was illegal deforestation happening. The way that this worked is that folks who were listening to these recordings would either hear gunshots, either they increased or decreased, confirming that the anti-poaching patrols were not a wasted effort. Monitoring illegal logging, detecting this activity, and creating a digital library of rainforest audio have all come together as the results. Now, to collect these recordings, the team led by Topher White, an engineer and National Geographic explorer, he founded his own bioacoustics monitoring company called Rainforest Connection in 2014. I love that, Rainforest Connection. I can so see Kermit sitting there talking about the Rainforest Connection. Anyway, to collect these recordings, they used recycled cell phones in real time across 20 countries. And anyone now, from park rangers and scientists to now everybody, can listen to these recordings through the company's website and app. What I love about this is when I listen to ocean sounds or rainforest sounds all the time. That's how Brennan goes to sleep, is ocean and rainforest sounds. This is like the white noise that completes me.
What I was going to say is that last night, as my dog was just like waking us up every 10 minutes because he just wasn't comfortable and had to go out, I was having a hard time falling back to sleep. So I downloaded an audiobook, which was all a collection of different forest sounds recorded by this really interesting sound engineer who goes out and just captures real world soundscapes. There is something about that. There's something about just letting yourself be in that environment on an auditory level that is so relaxing.
So relaxing. It's the sound of the rain. This morning, my daughter and I actually sat on our front porch because we had like a lovely summer rain. And my little one, and she was excited to wear her new bathrobe for her second birthday. And we sat on the porch and listened to the rain, and I had her close her eyes, which she did for like 8 seconds. And I asked her what she heard, and she said rain and birds and trees. And I felt a tiny modicum of peace come from just that minute listening to real sounds. And we've written tons of stories on the Optimist Daily about how being in natural spaces, being outdoors, being with trees, being with forests has unbelievable benefits, right? And it makes life better when you are in these spaces.
Which is exactly what my headlines, I actually have 2 headlines which are linked to this, because the first one is study of 90 cities links green space access with increased happiness. More and more, we've written about this a lot, and being in an urban environment, part of the downfalls of that is that we're disconnected from natural space often. But tree planting and green space allocation is a key part of urban planning strategies because it helps mitigate heat island effects, which we're certainly being suffered through. Those trees and the green spaces help to purify the air and improve health of residents. And just correlation after correlation of nature and happiness has been further solidified by a new study in EPJ Data Science. And they compared satellite data of 90 large cities in 60 countries around the world. And then they compiled that with the scores of each city's like average happiness score. And they also factored in wealth in terms of GDP. And what they found was a very positive link between green space and happiness across all those wealthy countries. And they note that it indicates that money does, quotes, buy happiness to a certain degree, but not in the ways that we think. It's just how we invest our resources in these different spaces. When you have more trees, it boosts our sense of well-being and also our physical, actual well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So my partner story is the headline reads, Tree Equity Score Tool Maps Out Critical Areas for Urban Forestry. So as these links become more well understood and the need for designing urban spaces differently in a way that's more beneficial to not just our life, but also lowering our carbon footprint or giving us some shade, different cities are starting to invest in urban greenery. I'm sorry, Tucker is being really a pest right now. He needs to go out, I think.
Meanwhile, my cat is meowing like crazy. So we're having, but really quickly, Kristy, like the focus of the story is
a tool, a tree equity score tool, which uses satellite data to map tree cover in any city in the United States. And what this information will be used for is it can help citizens and policymakers come up with targeted approaches to improving tree equity in specific areas that may have been neglected in the past to help lower those heat islands and also boost the air purification and the shade and the cover in areas which do not have any trees.
One of the things, there's headlines going on right now in the media talking about the inequality of climate management in people's homes, right? And what a heat island is, or why certain urban areas or areas with higher density might be too hot, right? And the folks who live in those areas don't have the resources for air conditioning. The simple fact is, if we look at this not from a politicized opinion, but instead from a where are the trees and where can environments and cities invest in putting the trees to create a more equal, healthy, and whole experience for our entire community, that's how we have to think of this issue. The idea that there are tree deserts, just like food deserts or book deserts. I actually was hearing about book deserts today on NPR, where there's summer reading. We talked about getting summer reading. Well, not everywhere has high access to books. The point of this tool is to ensure that the resources are put where they will be most effective in the communities that need them most now. And I love this story. I was kind of warning the editorial team because it's getting really inflamed right now again on population and heat, and people get mad in the summer. And I was
temperatures
rise and moods get pretty inflamed. And this story, I think, takes on what has become a weirdly politicized conversation in a very solutions-oriented way. So I'm really proud of the Optimist Daily for running it. And I'm really delighted that you brought it up, Kristy. You go take Tucker for a walk. It's a busy day. I'm going to go see what the cat needs and then what everybody else needs. And then I'll find some meditation time with sounds of trees.
Trees. And then there's, go read the rest of the stories on today's feed. There's a giant panda gave birth to tiny twin cubs at a Tokyo zoo. That's, kind of cool. Always nice to see little baby pandas. There's a hydrogel inspired by lobsters that could help build artificial tendons. There's an article about ways to boost female education, a bison bridge, lots of fun things on today's Optimist Daily. And thank you so much for listening to the Optimist Daily Update. Summers, you take us out.
I will take us out. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Optimist Daily Update. We promise to continue to share positive, solution-based stories with ideas on how you can participate in this changing world and ensure it is changed for the good. We promise to cover current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offer you the information needed most to chart new paths for all of us. Consider becoming an emissary. You know where. OptimistDaily.com. $5 a month. Help support reader-funded independent journalism. Get excited about this next chapter for the Optimist Daily. Hey, everybody, have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you in July. Bye.
But I'm sorry, Tucker is like just, hi, yes, hello.